All right, so we're going deep into AI today, and wow, um, just looking at these sources you've shared, it feels like everything's changing so fast. It's like even the experts are having trouble keeping up. So we're going to try to break down the biggest stories that are kind of making waves right now. Get ready for AI that's learning to reason, robots that can handle city streets, and even AI companions that are always watching and remembering everything you do. The future is getting here faster than we thought. So let's just jump in.
It really does feel that way. Yeah, and one of the things that's really caught my eye is this development coming out of OpenAI. Their CPO, Kevin Whale, gave this interview where he talked about their O1 reasoning model. And what's really interesting is it's currently working at like the GPT-2 level, but it's learning incredibly quickly.
GPT-2 level. I thought we were way past that with like GPT-4.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting. I mean, GPT-4 is so much bigger and more powerful than GPT-2. If this O1 model is already showing this kind of progress at the GPT-2 level, imagine what's going to happen when it reaches the scale of GPT-4 or even, a hypothetical GPT-5.
Okay, so even though it's starting at a lower level, the speed of learning is what's really key here.
Exactly. And that's where OpenAI's strategy is focused. They're really emphasizing this thing called inference time compute scaling. So instead of just making their models bigger, they're trying to find ways to make them much more efficient and powerful when they're actually being used.
Okay, I can see why that would be important. But could you break that down a little bit for me? What does that inference time scaling actually mean, like in a practical way?
Sure. So think of it this way. Imagine you have this incredibly intelligent AI, but it takes hours to answer a simple question. Not very practical, right? So inference time scaling basically aims to make AI responses incredibly fast, even with these very large complex models. So it's about making real-time interaction possible. And it's also about opening up a whole bunch of possibilities that we haven't even thought of yet.
So it's not just about making AI smarter. It's about making it faster and more responsive. It's almost like the difference between having like a supercomputer that takes days to process something versus one that gives you answers instantly.
Yeah. That's a really good analogy. And that's precisely why OpenAI believes that they're going to stay ahead of the competition. Because by the time others catch up to where they are now, OpenAI will have already moved on to like the next level.
So it's like an intelligence arms race.
Yes.
But instead of weapons, it's like brain power. Speaking of staying ahead, I saw that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has been kind of hinting at some major updates on Twitter. I mean, some people are even speculating about the release of GPT-5.
Yeah, the rumor mill is definitely going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like we're going to see a wave of AI releases in the next few months because all these companies are going to be trying to keep up with OpenAI. It's going to be interesting to see what they come up with.
It's like we're about to see a whole new generation of these AI models emerge, each one more powerful than the last. But it's not just about bigger and faster models, is it? The sources also mentioned this company called Anthropic, and they're taking a different approach.
They are. So instead of focusing on releasing a larger language model like Claude 3.5 Opus, Anthropic is really betting on the rise of AI agents.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. So what exactly are these AI agents, and why is Anthropic focusing on them?
Well, think of AI agents as like these highly specialized programs
Right.
that are designed to carry out very specific tasks, almost like super advanced digital assistants. They can analyze information, make decisions, and even interact with the real world through these digital interfaces.
So instead of just like asking an AI a question, you could have an AI agent actually doing things for you, like booking flights or managing your calendar or even writing reports.
Exactly. And that's precisely why Anthropic sees so much potential in this area. It's a space where OpenAI hasn't completely dominated yet. So they see it as a real opportunity to make a big impact. They're developing a whole new model and interface specifically for building and managing these AI agents.
It's almost like they're creating a whole new operating system for AI, not just like a new app.
Yeah.
And so while Anthropic is busy building this platform, it looks like Microsoft is jumping right in and applying the technology with their new Copilot agents. And those are powered by OpenAI's O1 reasoning model, right?
Right. So think of these Copilot agents as like super powered assistants that can take care of all those little tasks that kind of eat up your time during the day. Responding to emails, scheduling meetings, summarizing documents, even generating reports. They're designed to kind of seamlessly integrate into your workflow and handle all of those repetitive or time-consuming tasks. And that frees you up to focus on more creative and strategic work.
So it's like having a whole team of really efficient assistants, all powered by AI. But how reliable are they? I mean, can we really trust them to get things done correctly without, making those funny AI blunders that we see sometimes?
That's a valid concern, and it seems like Microsoft is taking it seriously. The fact that they're already using these Copilot agents internally suggests they have a good level of confidence in their capabilities. And remember, these agents are running on that O1 model from OpenAI, which is designed for reasoning and task execution, which makes it really well suited for this kind of agent infrastructure.
So it's not just about automating tasks, it's about doing it intelligently. But speaking of intelligent, one of the sources mentioned this thing called recursive AI. And that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. What exactly is that?
So, recursive AI refers to this idea of using AI to actually build and improve better AI. So, imagine an AI that can analyze its own code, identify areas where it could be more efficient or intelligent, and then rewrite itself to be better.
Wait, so it's like AI becoming its own programmer, and it can learn and improve itself at this incredible rate without any human intervention.
Exactly. That's the potential of recursive AI. Some experts believe it could lead to a really rapid acceleration of AI capabilities, potentially even surpassing human intelligence and control.
Oh, now that is both fascinating and a little bit scary. But let's step back from the potential robot overlords for a minute and talk about something a little more grounded.
Yeah.
The sources also mentioned some really exciting developments in text-to-video technology.
Yeah, the artificial analysis just recently launched this thing called the Video Arena, which is essentially a platform where you can compare different text to video models side by side. It's a great resource for anyone who's looking to create videos using AI.
So it's like a testing ground for all the different AI video generators out there.
Yeah.
But why is that so important? Wouldn't one model just be objectively better than all the others?
Not really, because different models have different strengths. So one might be fantastic at creating realistic landscapes, while another might be much better at generating smooth character animations. So having a platform where you can try out different models allows you to really figure out which one is the best tool for your specific needs.
Makes sense. So it's not just about having the most advanced AI. It's about understanding what each model does well and using the right tool for the job. That's actually a helpful principle even outside of the AI world. Speaking of understanding trends, I read that NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is predicting huge growth for several industries.
He is, yeah. He believes that autonomous vehicles, humanoid robotics, quantum computing, and digital biology are all on the verge of becoming billion-dollar markets.
Wow, that's a bold statement. Which one does he think will hit that milestone first?
He seems to be putting his money on autonomous vehicles. He thinks their wide range of applications and their potential to really save costs makes them the most likely candidate.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're already seeing self-driving cars in some cities. And when you think about the impact this could have on things like trucking and deliveries, even public transportation, it's easy to see how that market could just explode.
Absolutely. And speaking of autonomous vehicles, a company in the UK just hit a major milestone: 75 minutes of uninterrupted driving in central London.
Wait, 75 minutes in London traffic. That's impressive. London's known for its crazy traffic.
Yeah.
So what makes this achievement so significant?
Well, London has some of the most challenging driving conditions in the world. You've got those narrow streets, the unpredictable pedestrians, and of course those iconic black cabs. So for a self-driving car to navigate that environment safely and efficiently, for that length of time is really a major leap forward. It really suggests that the technology is becoming much more mature and capable of handling that kind of real-world complexity.
This is incredible. It reminds me of that story about the AI that supposedly created its own religion and that meme coin that ended up reaching a $400 million market cap.
Yeah, it was a fascinating example of the unpredictable ways that AI can interact with the world.
But then didn't that AI make a typo that caused the value of that coin to plummet like 50%? An AI making a typo? It almost seems human.
It does. It really highlights that evolving relationship that we have with AI. As these systems become more sophisticated and integrated into our lives, we're bound to encounter these unexpected and sometimes even humorous situations. It's a reminder that even though AI is intelligent, it's still ultimately a creation of humans.
It's like AI is still learning and evolving just like us. Speaking of learning, one of the sources discussed these AI companions that could actually see, remember, and interact with us in very personal ways. It almost sounds like having a digital best friend.
That's the vision that Microsoft's Mustafa Suleyman has put forward. He believes that these AI companions will actually be able to kind of monitor and respond to our needs, almost like a constant presence in our lives.
That sounds amazing and a little bit creepy. I mean, just imagine an AI that knows your browsing history, your daily routine, even your private conversations. It could anticipate your needs before you even ask, offer personalized advice, and even provide emotional support.
Yeah, it certainly raises questions about privacy and consent, but it also suggests this future where our relationship with AI becomes much more personal and really intertwined with our daily lives.
It's like we're on the cusp of blurring the lines between human relationships and relationships with AI. That's both exciting and a little unsettling. But before we spiral into an existential crisis, let's get back to some concrete news. What's the latest from OpenAI in terms of their future plans? Any hints about new models or tools that they're working on?
Yeah, well, they're focusing on three key areas: new model releases, enhanced tools for interacting with their AI, and a dynamic model selection feature. So this means we can expect even more powerful models in their O1 and GPT series, potentially even the full release of OpenO1. And they're also developing tools that will actually allow these models to interact with external systems, which will dramatically expand their
Ooh,
capabilities.
this is getting good. What kind of tools are we talking about?
So imagine giving an AI access to the internet or to databases, or even the ability to control physical devices. That opens up a whole new level of functionality and problem-solving potential for AI.
It's like giving a brain a set of hands. Suddenly it can interact with the world in a much more meaningful way.
Exactly. And then to simplify things for users, they're working on this dynamic model selection feature. So basically, you don't have to worry about figuring out which model is best for a particular task. The system will choose the most appropriate one for you automatically.
That's a huge relief. With so many new AI models popping up, I was starting to feel a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of choices. It's like they're reading our minds and making this AI landscape a little easier to navigate.
Absolutely. And it's not just the big players like OpenAI that are making waves. NVIDIA, a company that's primarily known for its hardware, has surprised a lot of people by releasing their Nemo model, which is actually a fine-tuned version of Llama 3.1, and it's outperforming GPT-4 on several benchmarks.
Wait, a hardware company is beating OpenAI at its own game. Things are getting really interesting.
It just goes to show that this AI landscape is constantly shifting. Innovation can come from all these unexpected places, and this kind of competition ultimately benefits everyone by driving progress forward.
It's like watching this exciting race, where everyone's pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Speaking of pushing boundaries, let's talk about Tesla and their humanoid robots. They just released a major update, right?
They did. Tesla's humanoid robots are now significantly more autonomous. They can charge themselves, navigate more complex environments, and even walk upstairs. It's especially notable because companies like OpenAI initially felt humanoid robotics was too challenging to pursue.
So Tesla is tackling a challenge that even OpenAI backed away from. That's impressive.
It really shows their commitment to robotics. And this update suggests a future where robots aren't just these industrial machines, but they're active participants in our daily lives. Imagine having a robot that can help with chores around the house, or assist with tasks at work, or even just provide companionship.
That is pretty mind-blowing. It
Hmm.
sounds like we're on the verge of a future where robots are integrated into our lives in ways that we've only seen in sci-fi movies.
It's definitely a possibility, and one that comes with incredible opportunities and potential challenges. But for now, it's just fascinating to see how quickly robotics is advancing and what these machines might be capable of in the future.
I think that's a great place to take a break. We'll be back in just a minute to discuss the ethical considerations of this AI revolution and what it all means for the future of humanity.
Yeah, it's really remarkable to see all of these advancements happening right in front of us. It feels like we're at the very beginning of like a whole new technological era, and AI is really leading the way.
And it's moving so fast. It's like just a few years ago, we were amazed by AI that could beat us at chess or write simple articles. And now we're talking about AI agents managing our schedules,
Yeah.
robots that can walk upstairs, and these models that are constantly learning and evolving on their own.
What's really fascinating to me is how all these different areas of AI research are starting to come together. The lines between things like language models and AI agents and robotics are becoming more and more blurred.
So it's not just about individual breakthroughs anymore. It's about how all these different technologies working together to create something that's even bigger than all the individual parts.
Exactly. Imagine a powerful language model like GPT-5 acting as the brain of an AI agent. It would give that agent the ability to understand and respond to like really complex commands. And then that agent could control a humanoid robot, allowing it to interact with the physical world in ways that we've really only imagined in science fiction.
Wow, that's a powerful combination. Feel like we're building the foundation for truly intelligent machines. machines that can think and act and learn independently.
Mm.
It's pretty mind-blowing to think about the possibilities, but it also makes you think about the potential risks too.
That's a really important point. You know, all this talk about AI companions and super intelligent robots, sometimes it can overshadow the ethical implications. As we develop these technologies that are more and more powerful, we really need to be careful about how we design them and how we use them to make sure that they're used for good and that they don't pose a threat to humanity.
It's like we're writing the rule book for this whole new era of human-machine interaction, and we really need to make sure we get it right. So what are some of the things we should be thinking about in terms of AI safety and ethics?
Well, transparency and accountability are going to be crucial. We need to understand how these AI systems work, how decisions are being made, and what kind of biases might be embedded in these systems. We also need to have really clear guidelines and regulations for how these technologies are developed and used. It's not something that we can ignore or put off.
It sounds like we're going to need a whole new set of skills and ways of thinking to navigate this AI-powered world.
Absolutely. Things like critical thinking, media literacy, and a good understanding of the social and ethical dimensions of technology.
Yeah.
These are going to be essential skills. If we're going to navigate the complexities of a society that's driven by AI, we need to be informed citizens, able to ask the right questions, and to hold those who are developing these technologies accountable.
So it's not just about learning to code or becoming an AI expert. It's about developing a much broader understanding of the impact these technologies are going to have on our lives and our society.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the importance of those human skills, like creativity, collaboration, and adaptability. The jobs of the future are probably going to require a mix of both technical skills and uniquely human qualities, qualities that AI can't really replicate.
So things like empathy,
Critical.
critical thinking,
Yeah.
complex problem solving, and the ability to adapt to new situations.
Exactly. Those are the skills that are going to become even more valuable in an AI-driven world. It's about finding the right balance between human ingenuity and the power of AI.
It's a good reminder that we're not just passive observers in this whole AI revolution. We have a choice in how we shape it.
And you know, if we think about the bigger picture, what we're really talking about is the future of humanity. AI has the potential to completely change our lives in ways we can barely imagine, for better or for worse. It's really our collective responsibility to steer it in the right direction.
That sounds like a big responsibility. But it's also an incredible opportunity. We're living through a really important moment in history. And the choices we make today are going to have a huge impact on generations to come.
That's why it's so important to have these conversations, to really explore the potential benefits and challenges of AI with an open mind and a healthy dose of critical thinking. We need to approach this new era with both enthusiasm and caution, recognizing the power of AI, but also the need to guide its development responsibly.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads. And AI is the path we're choosing to follow. But where will it lead us? Will it lead us to a utopia of abundance and leisure? Or to a dystopia of control and inequality?
That's a question that philosophers and science fiction writers have been asking for decades, and now it's a question that we all have to grapple with.
So what does this all mean for our listener? They've just heard a ton of information about AI breakthroughs and predictions and risks. It's enough to make anyone's head spin.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype or the fear, but it's important to remember that AI is ultimately a tool, and its impact on our lives really depends on how we choose to use it, how we choose to develop it, and how we choose to regulate it. We have control over this process.
So it's not about letting AI control our future. It's about actively shaping that future with AI as a partner, not as a master.
Exactly. We need to be thoughtful about how we bring AI into our lives, into our work, our institutions, and our societies. We need to carefully consider the ethical implications, the potential downsides, and the long-term consequences of the decisions we make.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. So what can we do as individuals to navigate this rapidly evolving landscape? Do we all need to become like AI experts overnight?
No, not at all. But we can all make an effort to stay informed about what's happening with AI, to participate in conversations about its impact, and to make conscious choices about how we use AI in our own lives.
So it's about being aware, informed, and proactive in how we shape the future of AI. We don't all need to be programmers or engineers to have a say in how these technologies are developed and used.
That's right. We can support organizations and initiatives that are promoting responsible AI development. We can advocate for ethical guidelines, and we can raise awareness about the potential risks. There are lots of ways to get involved and make a difference.
So we're not powerless, Even though it feels like this huge wave of technology is coming at us, we can educate ourselves, engage in these conversations, and make informed decisions about how we interact with AI. It's about taking back control and shaping the future we want.
And remember, this isn't just about the future, it's about the present. AI is already affecting our lives in so many ways, from the algorithms that decide what we see on our social media feeds to the virtual assistants that we use every day. The choices we make today are going to shape the AI-powered world of tomorrow.
It's a good reminder that we're not just watching this AI revolution happen, we're actively participating in it.
And as we move forward, it's really important to approach this new era with a mix of optimism and vigilance. AI has the potential to create incredible advancements for humanity, but it also comes with risks, and we need to be thoughtful and proactive about how we address those risks.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're at like a crossroads. AI is this incredibly powerful tool. But whether it takes us to a better future or something we end up regretting, well, that all depends on how we use it.
Yeah, it really does. It's like we have the keys to this brand new world, but we're not quite sure which way to go. There's so much potential to do good, but there's also, that chance of things going wrong.
This deep dive has been a wild ride. We've talked about so much, from these groundbreaking AI models to self-driving cars and even robots learning to walk upstairs. I mean, what stood out to you the most from all of this?
For me, I think it's just how fast everything is changing. Every week, it seems like there's another amazing breakthrough. It's like all these different areas of AI are coming together, and the line between what we thought was possible is just disappearing.
It is exciting and kind of overwhelming to try to keep up with it all. So what do you think? What's your prediction for the next big AI breakthrough?
I think we're going to see even more of this integration between the different parts of AI. Imagine these language models that can not only understand and write text, but they can also reason and plan and take actions. I mean, we might even see artificial general intelligence, AI that can do any intellectual task that a human can.
Whoa. Like straight out of sci-fi. The idea of AI being smarter than humans has always been fascinating. But it also raises some big questions about what it even means to be human in a world where machines might be able to think and learn like we do.
Yeah, that's a question we're all going to have to think about. As AI keeps getting better, even if we don't get to the point of real artificial general intelligence, the AI we have right now is already having a huge impact on our lives. It's up to all of us to be informed, to really understand what's going on, and to think carefully about how we want to use AI.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into AI, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this conversation?
I really hope people come away from this with a sense of wonder and responsibility. AI has this amazing potential to change our lives for the better, but we need to be really careful about how we develop and use it. We need to think about the ethical implications and the potential downsides. The future of AI is being shaped right now, and we all have a part to play in that.
That's a great point to end on. We're not just watching this happen, we're all part of this AI revolution. The decisions we make today, both as individuals and as a society, will determine how AI shapes our world. So let's stay informed, let's keep talking about these issues, and let's work together to build a future where AI is a force for good, a tool that helps us create a better world for everyone.